One. All right, welcome to In the Zone. Double D still on vacation. I have no idea how long his vacation is going to be. He might not come back. I don't know, but I'm here, Andy Wheeler. And today on In the Zone, we're going to be talking basketball. We've got Elsa joining us here from GuamBasketball.com. You are the program director?
Yes, program director.
And you are directing quite a few things over there at Guam Basketball.
Yes, I am. There's a lot going on right now at Tamining Gym, only because it's the holidays. So we've got the holiday tip-off tournament going on. That we had to extend an extra week just because of the number of teams. It was higher than what we normally take in. And then starting on Monday, we have the holiday camp for the kids. So we're doing double duty. We're working with the kids in the morning and then the adults at night.
We got the flyer that you guys put out there on GuamBasketball.com of your events that are happening throughout the year.
Yeah.
It's just one after the other. And a lot of these things you like to time up with kids being on break.
Yes, I do.
That's key
Yes.
for the kids to stay active and for the parents to figure out what to do with these kids when they have all that downtime.
Yeah.
So you guys are offering something, and like I said, lining it up for these breaks when the kids are. We're going to get to the kids and the other programs that you have in a little bit, but let's talk about the holiday tip-off.
Yes.
You mentioned it that you had usually 10 teams.
Yes, that's
This
the
one you
cap.
have 17.
17.
So you went above and beyond.
Yes, we did. I mean, 17 teams, it's 64 games, and we've got to finish all those games in 3 weeks. We usually have the tournament for 10 days, but we had to add the extra week.
And do you think that's because the holidays are a little gluttonous for us and we need to kind of work off some of that food that's built up?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They've got to get in the gym and work it off,
Yeah.
because if you're going to go to the fiestas and the parties, then you got to find a way to work that off.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of, the success of the 5Ks and the running races and things like that. People at the gym, CrossFit, things like that. People really now are wanting to stay active, wanting to stay fit. They want to be around longer, want to be able to play with the grandkids. And whatever you do as an adult to keep you active, I think that's key.
Yes.
And so you guys offering this, the adults are obviously eating it up.
Yes, they are. The competition alone it surprises me, because it's meant to be a recreation league, but because they're so competitive, they get emotional on the court. They are very competitive, these adults.
Because these are some well-known names. You know, they are working on their business team or a club team. But they're you have any guys from the national teams playing?
It's a recreation league, so usually the national players don't participate in that.
They're busy training for their
Yes,
thing.
yes, they're busy training.
But there's some guys that we might know, some ladies as well.
Yes, right. Well, there's 17 teams, so I'm trying to, off the top of my head.
You have to list every player in the league right
Yes.
now, off the top of your head.
No,
No.
that's impossible.
So it's great competition. It's not something that these guys are just kind of taking lightly. Like, they're really full on.
Yes.
They want that championship.
Yes, they are. I don't know. Maybe it's the game itself that brings it out in them. But we have a co-ed rec league and we have a men's rec league, and so both divisions end up playing each night. But with the co-ed rec league, they have to have a female on the court at all times, and there is no backcourt defense, only because when I first started the co-ed rec division, a lot of the players couldn't keep up with the full court press.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to break it down and say, okay, let them bring the ball across the court first, and then you can be active or get aggressive. So
Because running a full court game,
tough.
I wouldn't last the first 5 minutes.
That's tough. It is.
Yeah.
It is. But in the men's rec, they can go full court, and they do. They go at it, and they are very aggressive. And we have a sportsman-like rule that if you get a technical foul for an unsportsmanlike conduct, you will be fined $10.
Oh, okay.
That's
I was
to
gonna
just
say
keep them in check.
I like that, but also you should go a step further. If you get a technical foul, the $10 fine, plus you have to buy everybody drinks for after the game.
I think that's with the Bud Light. Go to Newman's Classic, they do that.
So we were talking a little bit earlier about stats. You guys are really keeping stats on this.
Yeah, what happened for 2019 is, based on my experience going off island and working with camps and different basketball organizations, the direction to go is go digital.
Right.
And now with the Bud Light Golden Hoops Classic, everything is online, digital. We take stats. Standings are online, rosters are online, so everybody can see who's playing where. And there's no switching of players. It's all there online for everybody to see. And the nice thing about it is they do compare their stats with other teams, other players. They're very competitive when it comes to rebounds, assists. Everyone's trying to get that top. They want to be a top leader in the stats.
Right, and it helps them improve their performance.
Oh,
if you
yes,
look at a game,
yes.
if I look at a game and say, okay, I had 8 points,
Yeah.
but I had 3 turnovers, or
Yes.
I wasn't rebounding very well, I got to work on that. And so it's making the individual players better, which in
Yes.
turn is making the team better.
Yes, and if you're coaching a team, it's the stats come in really handy because then they can see what areas in the game where they're lacking or where they're weak. And
I always hated that part of my coaches. They would always point out where I'm lacking, which I was like, you don't
and
need
that
to bring
has
that
to
up.
do with stats.
Yeah, but it helps that next game, like,
Yes,
okay.
it does. Or like they can key in and who the shooter is in the other team when they're getting ready to prepare for their game against
Right.
them.
If I look at a team's record, say, okay, they're 10-1.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't tell me a whole lot.
Yes.
And you look at the individual stats, like this guy dropped 34 points
Yes,
last game.
yes.
Let's go ahead and put some guys on.
Yeah. And then on the flip side to that, you have the guys that take like 30 shots. And who takes 30 shots in a game, Andy?
James Harden.
Okay, besides James Harden.
Okay.
Besides James Harden. But really, we have guys that just constantly shoot that ball, and it's on the stat sheet. And now everybody says, "Oh, well, just stop him."
So
you
their
know?
percentage is a little low, but
Yeah.
the amount of shots and points.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
so
It even gives them like a plus minus on their performance. The
Oh,
stats.
excellent, excellent.
Yeah, so it's great. It was definitely a challenge to get it started. But
Mhm.
once I had it all set up in our app, it was great.
And you're doing all this work, so you're limiting yourself to about 4 games per day.
Yeah, I try to limit it to 4 games because I'm the one taking stats, so.
So that is leading into a job opportunity.
Yes.
You were just talking. Now this is not a formal thing, but
Yeah.
you were thinking that it would be nice to have someone help with the stats. If there's a statistician out there, a data entry. I don't know what kind of job
Yeah.
translates well.
Somebody
to
that loves basketball. They've got to love basketball and have a passion for it in order to sit there and do stats.
Right.
And
Because you have to focus on the game
Yes.
100%. You
You
can't
have
just
to.
kind of be chatting it up over here, eating your hot
no,
dog. You have to
you
be,
can't.
right.
You can't. And I do know for a fact that we are the only organization that has gone digital
Good.
with that particular league, which is the Bud Light Golden Hoops Classic. And that is because Ambrose has been very accommodating with us in the budget to make it happen.
And you make it happen, okay, they spent some money to make this happen, but you are already seeing the payoffs
Yes.
as far as the competition
Yes.
goes. Remember, you planned on 10 teams, you got 17.
Yes.
So I think a lot of people are like, hey, let's join this league.
Yes.
We really have stats. We can take it seriously. That guy that always wanted to be
Yeah.
a college coach or something, he can kind of practice that a little
Oh
bit.
yeah, it's great. The thing too about that is it's got history. So
Mhm.
the stats, we had 2 conferences within the year. We have 2 conferences a year for the Bud Light Golden Hoops Classic. So now they have history of how their performance is per conference.
Are we looking at, after the season, maybe doing some individual awards, like scoring leader, rebound leader, MVP, things like that? You are?
We do, yes, absolutely.
Because you can track that.
Yes, we track it, and that's how I know. Before I used to tally it up manually, but now because it's all online, it's just easy to see who the top scorer is, offensive player, defensive player, the MVP.
Good to have all those metrics to judge the performance by.
Analytics, and I'm telling you, analytics is the way to go now.
It is. Professional teams,
Yes.
farm teams, they do that in Major League Baseball, in NBA football, all of the sports.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that because when I went to I did an internship at the NBA Summer League in 2017.
Okay.
Back then, that was the focus of the whole internship, was going digital and doing analytics. And so that's where I started going, well, I know we're in Guam, but we need to do this too.
Mhm.
And that's when I started taking it to that direction. And
Right.
it was only in 2019, in January, that I said, okay, we're doing this. We got the app, and I prepped everything for it, and now it's a go, and now we just continue.
Excellent. Gives everybody something to work for.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Stats really help. And
Yeah, they do. They're good motivation.
I know, and I'm glad you mentioned that about baseball because what I learned in my internship was that it was the LA Dodgers that actually was the beta tester for the analytics.
Okay.
So they
Because
started
stats
there.
in baseball,
Yeah.
they hand in hand.
Yes,
And
yes.
there's some weird stats that you're like, I don't even know how that relates to winning games, but there it is.
Yeah, and then after that, it was, and believe it or not, it was the San Antonio Spurs that said, "Okay, we're up next." in
Well,
the
Popovich,
NBA.
he's a heck of a coach that
Yes,
knows.
he is, and he probably needs those numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have Tim Duncan or those guys anymore. You don't have Kawhi
Yeah,
Leonard, so
yeah.
let's look at the numbers.
And it's all on performance. Those stats, the analytics is all based on performance, especially for pro players when it's time for them to come up for their contract renewal.
Absolutely.
They need to they use those analytics to determine their performance.
So you're saying some of the Guam players can renegotiate their contract here for millions and millions of dollars?
Oh yeah.
Okay, maybe that's a little bit of a stretch,
Yeah.
but it is good to determine what you need to work on in the game.
Yeah, it's so important, and I think that with high school basketball, I would like to see that happen also
Mhm.
with that organization, is for them to have stats and keep it in one place so that everyone can see the performance of all the school teams, and it's good for the kids too when
Absolutely.
they're getting when they want to go to college.
High
they
school
need this.
basketball, football, if they're
Yeah.
trying to get recruited, hey, I'm trying to go to a college.
I'm going to tell you, football
Boom.
is so hard to keep stats.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's not easy. That's why I'm not a statistician.
Yeah, it's hard. Football
Yeah.
is hard. I
Man.
tried it. It is tough.
Matt's not my friend. So that's a great thing that you're working on there at GuamBasketball.com. The tournament is coming to a close, but right after that, there's a little overlap with your clinic that you have coming up for the kids. Let's talk about
Yeah,
that.
the holiday camp is for the kids. It's ages 6 to 14. And what we focus on, and that's in the mornings from 9 to 12. We focus on the fundamentals. So all the kids need fundamentals. And that's
Dribbling, the crossover, inside out, the bounce pass,
yes,
all that stuff.
Yes, they need that. And then we move on. We also teach them the rules of the game because that's important. How can they play the sport if they don't know the rules of the game?
Mhm.
And then the third thing that we actually focus on is the team building skills.
Okay.
Because basketball is a team sport. It's not an individual sport. So they need to learn how to work together.
You can excel individually, but if the team is not up there, it doesn't matter.
Like James Harden.
Exactly. Keep dropping his name.
Yeah.
You're going to get sued or something.
I think he knows it.
Yeah. So the clinic, GuamBasketball.com is where you go and register.
Yes.
Parents obviously are looking for something for the kids to do during break.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, of course, they're going to want to play their video games. They're going to need to do some reading or whatnot, whatever their
Yes.
teacher. But staying active and learning a new sport or helping develop their skills in that sport, I think is key.
Yeah, it is. It is. And, again, there's a lot of basketball out there. I encourage kids to just get out there and play,
Mhm.
and because there's different programs available. So one of the things I do know from my experience, and this is 16 years of running the program, is that, parents need to be able to trust whoever it is that's running the show, and they need to feel comfortable with the kids.
Right.
And so when that happens, they will always return to your program.
Yeah. And the next kid up will come back,
Yes.
The older brothers say, hey, I went to the camp, it was a lot of fun, you should go too. So.
Yeah. And what's interesting is, you know how the industry now, everything is global. So what's going on now is I get a lot of students from Korea and Japan
Oh, good.
and the Philippines and Hong Kong. Because we're on the internet, they find us, and they when they come to Guam for their vacations, they register their kids at
Oh,
the
cool.
camp. So it's really expanded to that.
Imagine that, going on vacation and your parents put you in
I
a
know.
camp. Like,
I
this,
know.
what happened to chilling on the beach, Mom? What's going on?
I know. But fortunately, it's only in the morning,
Right.
9 to 12, so they still have the rest of the day to enjoy the island.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So go to GuamBasketball.com, sign the kids up for the clinic, and then after that, we're already looking forward to spring, to summer, and to
Yeah.
next autumn.
Moving into 2020, we've been running an all-year-round program at Tumining Gym, which includes tournaments, camps, and for the kids, they get the Summer Jam Tournament and the Thanksgiving Hoop Fest. And I will just share with you the Thanksgiving Hoop Fest. I had 5 5 teams from Saipan come in.
Oh wow! Oh
Yeah,
cool! I didn't know that.
and Tinian was supposed to be here too, but they didn't make it. And then I had 3 teams from Manila come to participate.
Wow, it's
So
like a
it-
regional championship.
Yeah, it's growing, and it's I don't know why, but I'm just
Well, because
blessed.
you put the work in. You and your team have put the work in.
Yeah.
You built these programs over what 16 years now.
16 years.
So the word is out. This is not some fly-by-night.
Yeah.
We're doing it at a backyard. There's a parking lot with a hoop set up. Like, this is legit. You guys have
Yes.
put a lot of work in with the stats, with all these other things,
Yeah.
and so people know they can trust you.
Oh yeah, and it's just not myself. The team that is working together with me is, the mayor for Tumaning, Louise Rivera. She's
'Cause you're
been
there a
very
lot.
supportive. She is very supportive. Their staff is very supportive. And then, we have our sponsors like Bank of Guam. Bank of Guam is all about the kids. So they are very big supporters of the program. So, and then we have, of course, Bud Light for the adults.
Right.
So overall, the support from the community and the businesses, it's been great.
Well, keep up the great work. And you guys, if you want to take part in any of the camps, the tournaments, go to guambasketball.com. Elsa, thank you so much.
Thank you, Andy. Merry
All right.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. That's In the Zone.